Hey class, Alex here. I wanted to make this update on week 14 so that way all of you know what's happening. Just so you know, these updates are kind of a bunch of different things, so that's why I have sort of my speaking points right here. So in general, the week starting with like week 14, the idea is that with your assignments, with your media projects, you need to start posting drafts or more examples to help us get a better idea of it. Also, I have published all remaining assignments with zeros, and I'll upgrade them and I'll update them. But in general, I put the zeros so that way you see what your final grade will be if you don't do anything else. And then I'm going to give you extra credit if you compete in the speech tournament this weekend. So let me go more with those in more detail. So for the 14 dash, because the unit 4 is about creating content related to a job, all of you should be working on media projects in some particular way. The default idea was to pick a journal or a section for a newspaper related to your community. Some people went with that. Some of you went with like jobs that you're doing right now, and some of you went with like jobs that you're trying to hope to get. That's totally okay. So starting with the 14 dash assignments, you need to start posting content that illustrates a draft of what you're doing. So it could be examples that you found. So one of the previous assignments was to like, hey, post examples of stuff you want to emulate, so that way you get a better idea of what you're going to make and we get a better idea of it. So you can post the examples that you found in the previous assignment from the 13 dash assignments. Or you can do recordings. If you're planning on doing a presentation, right? So one of you talked about biology. I'm not going to say which one of you, but one of you wanted to give a presentation. Oh, no. One of you said engineering or physics or something. Oh, aeronautical engineering. So for the person, like if you're going to be giving a lecture because you want to be like an aeronautical engineer, you talked about sort of teaching certain concepts because you're taking engineering classes. So if you're going to be doing a lecture on something related to like aeronautical engineering, you can just have a recording of just you explaining the concept that you have related to that right now, right? So you can submit a recording that sort of illustrates what you're trying to do. Or for those of you who stuck with the journalism idea, you could do interview notes. A lot of you talked about wanting to like meet people in the community and sort of get the vibe of what people think about certain places or certain things. So if you've already spoken to people in relation to your project, you can also just share the notes that you have so far. So we have an update on what you're doing. And I have etc. because, again, because this is a media project based on a career field that you're interested in, like there are lots of other ways. But essentially, this week I want to start seeing content that illustrates like, and that you can add to like what you're actually going to submit next week. Also, so let me move on to the next item. So, 3 minutes. So if some of you saw your grade jump down, do not worry about it. I've pretty much put zeros on all the assignments on Canvas. So that way, like if some of you don't do anything else in the class, like you now have an idea of what your final exam is going to, or what your final grade is going to be. So I've published zeros on all current and future assignments, so you see what your standing is if you don't do anything else. But like I said, the quizzes and the surveys, the writing tasks and the tests automatically grade themselves. So those scores will go up once you complete them. The discussion boards, I'm going to manually update those once all of you start, post your work and everything like that. So even though I posted zeros on assignments, I'm going to update those as we go along until the rest of the semester. And then lastly, I will give any of you extra credit if you participate or if you compete or attend the speech tournament. Again, I'll send more information about that, but essentially this Friday, May 22nd, there is going to be, hold on, because I have the flyer in my, they are not here. Are they not? No, they are not. Oh, yes I do. Okay, so in relation to the extra credit for going to the speech tournament, if you compete or attend in the Speak Green speech tournament, I will give you extra credit for that. I will give you a 10% boost in your grade if you compete in the tournament and a 5% boost in your grade if you go as an audience member. If you want to register for the event to compete, you can go to speakgreen.org. So that's pretty much it. So let me give a recap of everything because again, this is my presentation to all of you. So this week, the goal is to start sharing content that is helping build to what your final draft of whatever media project you're going to do for your job or for the newspaper project. Again, I've published zeros on assignments on Canvas, so that way you know what your final grade will be if you don't do anything. But I am going to be updating those so that way your grade increases. Like, this is meant so that way all of you know like sort of where you're at. And also to incentivize, hey, to be more on point about stuff, because I dropped a class, half my class just did not show up. And then also give you extra credit if you compete in the Speak Green Awards speech tournament, which is this Friday, May 22nd, from about 11 to 2:30. All right, if you have any questions, message me around Canvas or something like that. Other than that, thank you for watching, everybody. See ya.